Asmongold is pissed off, and you should be pissed off too. For real. Visa and MasterCard trying to do all this stuff, plus plus the European Union basically trying to get, force its rules on the rest of the world that are it's, don't get me wrong, I'm not against um protecting kids online. Kids should not be able to access the spicier and seedier sides of the internet when they're super young. There needs to be a way to control that. That being said, um, you just can't have some countries that deem these things to be bad saying, "Oh, the whole world is going to do this," because I mean, obviously, these kids are already getting around these lockouts with simple video games, with video games that you can do this. You can do the Death Stranding facial feature mode, where they sits there and sits in the mirror and yeah, you can cheat the whole thing right there. But Asmongold is absolutely right. You should watch. Yeah, where is it? Yeah.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today I want to talk about my favorite topic, internet censorship. And you know what's really upsetting? The fact that every single other government in the world seems to have that in common with me. Every other government right now is making laws, rules, and regulations for what can and can't be on the internet. And there is a little phrase that my mom used to always tell me, and it used to be, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions."
It it is all these people that have, oh, we're trying to help these kids. We're trying to protect kids on the internet. That's a very good and noble thing to do, and something we have to be able to do something, but with restraint. There needs to be done. There things need to be done correctly.
But here's the thing, these people don't have good intentions. They say it's for the kids. Sure, oh yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, sure, you don't want to have kids on social media. You don't want to have kids looking at certain weird stuff. Very true. But let's be honest, the real reason why they're doing it is the same reason why YouTube removed dislikes. It's very simply because companies that are running advertising campaigns pushing narratives and social agendas that aren't popular, and also governments that are doing the exact same thing, were upset and getting their feelings hurt because the people had the power of consensus.
That's right. We could call out their bullshit instantaneously. You could say, "Oh, well, this is bullcrap." If someone puts out a video with their, some candidate puts out some video with their stupid ideas, you used to be able to dislike it right into oblivion, and everyone would know nobody likes this crap, and you would know. If yes, it's confirming some bias, but it's also very social and democratic. It really is. It's letting the voice of the people that are viewing the content be known. Let approval and disapproval, because disapproval, because that is a thing as well. And people have gotten so weak, so separated in their thinking that, oh, well, either, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you it's terrible too. There's a comment section and you should use it. That's the thing. Watch the comments, the like versus comment ratio, and you'll see it gets ratioed into oblivion when things do that. Because yeah, it's obvious. But keep watching this. He is not wrong, and the internet is in a very precarious position as of today.
The people had the power of assembly, and they would assemble on that little red line on the bottom of a video, and it would show everybody else that this is bullshit. How many times have you guys read an article and you thought to yourself, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read in my entire life? And
Like so much shit from Media Matters. They deserve everything that they get right now, but they have literally just lying out their ass about things. I mean, I watched Nancy Pelosi lying out of her ass today on TV. That's funny. Anyways,
you scroll down to the comment section, and the top comment says the exact thing that you think. And you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. Well, guess what? How do you solve that problem if you're the company? Do you write better articles? Absolutely not. No, of course not. You delete the comment section.
exactly.
And that's what they're trying to do with the
That's what they did too. That's no more discuss. Discuss was a big thing. Remember Discuss? That was a big comment section at the bottom of everybody's website, as everyone's article. You could see real time bullshit meter right there.
Entire internet. We used to have, back in the ancient days, in the ancient texts, every website used to begin with www, World Wide Web. And I think we're losing those first two W's, and I think that's a big fucking L. The fact is that we are going to
Totally.
be moving towards a world and a society where different internets are siloed off based off of region. This is already happening. Look at what happened with, for example, Twitch and South Korea. Now,
Look at Utah. Look where I happen to live. You can't just go straight over to any pornographic material websites that are blatantly that way. Like you try to go to Pornhub here, it's not going to let you happen. And it actually says due to your whatever, you cannot access it. So a VPN, that's what everyone does. They use a VPN to get around it, which is, duh. That's what everyone's going to do. But they're going to try and ban VPNs. Watch. It will happen.
South Korean websites are pretty much unique and they do their own thing by themselves. This, in my opinion, is just a precursor of what's going to happen all across at least the Western world. Now, whenever I have conversations about this, I'm having conversations about this from the context of an American, okay? We have more freedom of speech than many other people in the world. And so when I say something like, the reality is, I think that, and this is the truth, okay?
Have you tried Dr. Pepper cream soda? It's good.
You might not like this, you might not want to hear it, but if you're realistic and you take your fucking idealism cap off just for a second, you're going to realize this is true. We're going to have real ID on the internet. It's going to happen. You might not like it. I don't necessarily like it, but it's going to happen. And
Yeah, for sure. It will happen. Whether it be tied to your social security number here in the States or whatever equivalent from around the world you get. I don't know. I don't know what the F they do in England. I don't know what they do in Kenya. I have no idea what they do in Colombia. It's probably much a similar process, I suspect. Oh my God. But yeah, real ID will happen. Totally going to happen on the internet. Like wherever you go, it's just going to ask you for that. Here's your quick access, whatever, blah blah blah, and it'll probably be connected to your phone. And when your phone breaks or whatever, you're going to be in a real shitty situation. So they'll have it to where you get a phone real fast. I mean, you can already do it like next day. So but I'll bet it's tied to your phone. And whenever you try to do something on any other website or go to any store, purchase anything online, whatever browser you're using, it will just go to your personal device, and you'll have to use either a face unlock or a thumbprint. Probably one of either. You know what I mean? I prefer the thumbprint, honestly. That's just it's hard to replicate.
it's not going to be in 20 years. It probably won't even be in 10 years. It'll probably be sooner than that. And I wouldn't be surprised if things keep going the way that I think they are, that it happens even sooner than that. We're having this happen with social media. You had Spotify and you had YouTube too. And YouTube and Spotify are asking for your IDs now to make sure that you're not underage. And they have an AI checking system. So if you say it's
What? For real? YouTube? I haven't seen anything like that from YouTube, I don't think. And yeah, like I'm pretty sure anyways, I haven't seen any. I don't use Spotify. Honestly, I use pretty much I use all the Google stuff for real. If this is a Pixel phone I'm filming on, a Pixel 7 Pro. I have a Pixel 9 Pro that I use. I use all the Google stuff and it works really well.
or on God, you instantly get sent to YouTube Kids, which honestly I kind of think that's doing everybody a favor, right? But the
Yeah.
reality is that YouTube and Spotify shouldn't be the ones that are doing this. They should not be the ones handling your driver's licenses. They shouldn't be the ones handling your personal information.
Data breaches are real. Holy crap.
How'd that go with the T app, by the way? So in case anybody doesn't know, the T app was an app made for fat, ugly, middle-aged women to post pictures pictures and henpeck men who didn't call them back after the first date because of the obvious reasons. And guess what happened? Well, in the most
It's true.
pristine and pure version of karma possible, all of these women who had their information, or sorry, were putting out their information to, basically like
The world's most insecure unsecure website insecure. It's probably blushing. But the world's most unsecure website, like it was built just with the most rudimentary AI tools. They asked for a website that does these things, and they didn't ask like the prompting was not well done. From what I gather, what I've heard is there was very little security uh, when this website was implemented. So the AI wrote it for her, and I'm sure she probably spent some money, or I don't know. I think you can get an AI, just a free version, to write a website for you right now. So
posting the public information of these men against or without their consent had all of their public information and private information leaked completely to the public. And now you saw the pictures of all of
correct, yeah. So all the lady that had the website made, and then it was strictly for women to go and dog on guys, do not date guys, right? Yeah. And so this website that they were going on there and telling all these, all these girls, don't date this guy, post a picture of the guy, here's his name, here's why I don't like him, and then you can comment on it, but guys aren't allowed on there. And yeah, it had very little security. So yeah, karma's a bitch.
people. And man, oh my god, like stereotypes exist sometimes for a reason. And so anyway, this happened, and I'm not going to say it's a hack because there was no security, there was nothing. The guy that was running this app, apparently, I heard that after he gets done running this app, Sony's going to hire him for their privacy division. So that's pretty much where we're at now. And I don't want to have YouTube get hacked. I don't want to have Spotify get hacked. The reality is that we need some degree of authentication token, verification, or some sort of third party thing that verifies that maybe you are an adult or you are an actual person, you are above this age, but it does not provide that information to the end user or the end company that's actually trying to verify this. We need
Right.
a validation token system.
We need a process. There needs to be, I mean, Google will probably step in, or somewhere, wherever. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my God. Is that Dr. Pepper cream soda? He's got it right there. I didn't even see that. That is Dr. Pepper cream soda. And oh my goodness, is it good? Like, yeah.
And if we don't have this, and I know people might say, no, we're not going to have any of this, it's bad. Yeah, you're going to get it, okay? It's going to happen. You can get mad at me all you want, but just wait and see. So I think we need a validation system. We need a way that has actual accountability to make sure that people just don't get their shit leaked when one of these accounts or one of these websites gets leaked.
That's good
Anything
stuff.
can get hacked, but I would much rather put my trust in some part of like third party like security system or something like that rather than a T app or something like.
Yeah, you don't want all of your end user information going out to every single website out there. You don't trust their bullshit security. There needs to be a front door. You know what I mean? Where this is the app that controls all of that. It says yes, and then access is allowed to this side of the internet. You see what I'm saying? It's not that you're sending out your credentials to every single website out there. That's terrible. That's kind of what we do right now, though. That's what all these websites are kind of asking for. You have to log into their site and then sign in. At least Google, it's Google that's already doing it, where you can authenticate with Google. That's a good thing. Needs to be more of that.
That's just basically outsourcing its security to squirrels. And so anyway, that's not true. Squirrels are really good at hiding nuts.
Yeah.
This person didn't even do that. But anyway, I was just thinking about this. The fact is that, yes, this is where things are going, and the internet is doing this. Why is this happening? It's not happening to protect the kids. It's happening to protect the people and the companies that are in power to make sure that narratives go unchallenged.
And governments. The English government right now is absolutely stopping and suppressing all kinds of protest videos that are being posted all over the place. The English government is suppressing so much information coming out of England. All the child child seeking gangs that roam the streets of London, which is really terrible. Well, it's even difficult to find stuff about that now because they're suppressing it using the pretense that they're trying to keep kids off of the terrible side of the internet.
If you don't, the thing is, like, I don't even have to make a 1984 analogy because we can just make a 2020 analogy. Look at what happened with COVID. Do you even for a second think that's not what's happening? Of course it is. It's happening right in front of us because it just got done happening. And do you really think that all the people are like, oh, the censorship game's up? Oh, well, I guess it's time to go home and let's have everybody have freedom of speech now. No. No, they're planning their next method and their next move. And guess what? They just showed us our side of the board, or sorry, their side of the board.
They did.
This is what's happening right now. And I'm very concerned about this because I don't want to see the internet siloed away. I think that one of the best and most enriching things about the internet is the fact that everybody in the whole world can go on and talk with each other, basically. It's something that expands people's horizons. I think it both creates and also gets rid of xenophobia. And I think that the truth is that it gets rid of it a lot faster than it makes it. I think that
Only when there's open dialogue from all positions, from both angles. If you suppress a counter argument, then you are effectively in an echo chamber. Period. If you suppress um, people speaking out against your ideology, but it used to be that the right was completely getting pushed down. You couldn't get a word in edgewise, especially on Twitter. Twitter was like completely oppressing people on the right. Still, Facebook does. YouTube still does. There is no way that you get as much traction on the right as you would on the left, especially right now. Right now, the left is eager to find their Joe Rogan. But Joe Rogan was a, a Democrat. He was on the left. The left just went super balls to the wall crazy left. It's insane.
if you can just talk to somebody from another country, from another place, you just have a straight up conversation with them. It's a lot easier than hearing what the media is trying to make you think this country is like. And I feel like there's been a lot of cultural understanding that the internet has created that weirdos and people that have agendas never like to acknowledge.
Exactly. Serious.
I've been more enriched in my ability to understand the rest of the world because of the internet than anything else ever. And I would hate to see that not be an option for other people in the future, but it sure seems like things are going that way. I think the real problem here, by the way, isn't with companies doing this, okay? The companies are just pulling the trigger. You should look at the person who's loading the gun and who made the gun. And that person, that's the government. And so the fact is, in telling them to
Every time. I'm telling you, you don't hate the government enough.
pull the trigger. The fact is that these companies are not doing this because they want to do it. They're doing it because they're afraid of not doing it. So what we need to be more vigilant of and there needs to be more advocacy of is number one, privacy laws. I think that if a judge issues a subpoena and a person is doing something and there's reasonable cause and there's evidence and everything, I think of course their information should be turned over to the government. Like, duh. I mean, of course, that's the way anything is. That's the way it is now. But the truth is that I don't want to have the government that just has, they can just read what you're doing on the internet all of the time. And unfortunately, it seems like that's where we're at. And I understand if you've got nothing to, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear.
Well, that's the Patriot Act. And then, because of the Patriot Act, they created all the FISA courts where they just say, hey, we believe there might be a person that might do a thing. So we need to intercept all the metadata from all of Verizon Wireless, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Every single person in the U.S. How are you going to store all that? Well, they have a gigantic, like many petabyte, or some crazy yottabytes amount data center here in Bluffdale, Utah. Runs off of the local water source, but there's I'm pretty sure there's gigantic underground aquifers down there too. Massive amount of or of underground water that runs underneath the state of Utah. It's crazy. Like we have power plants that are cooled by underground aquifers. Um, Anyways, yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. The government just scoops up everything that goes on. Every phone conversation, every keystroke, every video, everything. It all just gets routed right into this place where it saves it all up. Every phone conversation you have on your cell phone, every text, every message, everything, every website, every keystroke.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what happens whenever they change what to hide? That's the issue. And I think that's where everybody else is at too. I don't want to have my internet be controlled by the 20 most annoying Karens that are either in Collective Shout, that are in the T app, or that are in Congress. Or I don't want to have them controlled by the 20 most powerful companies that are basically pulling the strings for a lot of these types of regulations. I am very concerned about this, and I think that you should be too. I think there's an honest and genuine conversation to be had about which content is appropriate for children and which is not, and how social media should regulate itself and how social media should be regulated. But we are going a lot farther than that, and we're talking about the entire internet and websites wholesale. This is censorship. This is going to go too far. This is not for kids. This is for adults to prevent them from doing and saying things and organizing in ways that put the powers that are making these rules at risk. That's what's happening. And I understand I might sound like a crazy person, but after everything that happened during COVID, I can't see a single one of you guys disagreeing. And so, anyway,
Not at all. Not at all. So many things. So much censorship happened. Like, seriously, you couldn't even say COVID on the internet for what, 4 years, 3 years? Your video would just go into a black hole. You would get zero views.
while real ID I think is inevitable, what isn't inevitable is the fact that these companies have to be the ones running it. They should not be the ones running it. I do not trust these companies. I don't trust the government either, but I don't trust the companies at all, and I just don't trust the government. And the fact is that, like the government got rid of, at least in America, slavery in 1865. Private companies still have it right now. So I think that pretty much gives you a barometer on which one is better than the other, which one has a little bit more accountability. But again, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So
Yeah, because government's still just a bunch of crooked ass politicians that have been in there for 40 years getting money kickbacks um, from all of the shit. What do they call them? The K Street frickin' mob.
that's what I think we need to be looking at. We need to be looking at proactive, real ID implementations that do not actually put people's data at risk by the company being able to have that data on hand. You saw that with the T app. And again, I know there's going to be people that are against me on this because you're going to say, well, I don't want to have this at all. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I cannot see a universe where it doesn't happen. If you drive around with a car, you've got to have a license plate. You've got to present ID with 1,000 other things in the world. Do you really think that we're going to live in a world where the internet stays like it was in 2007 forever? Of course not. And I'm worried about that because there are some great things about that. There were some not so great things, but I'll be honest, the people that are trying to control to get rid of the not so great things, they're also doing that as a massive Trojan horse to censor and control discourse on the internet and to have a effective lever that they can pull in the future if they need to shut down a certain type of conversation. You're already seeing this in the UK, which right now is one of the worst Western offenders. And I think that entire ideology is going to be exported to the rest of the West and the rest of the world.
The UK, they say, is 10 years ahead of us, right? Well, the UK has been going backwards on a lot of their stuff, and they are the citizens in the United Kingdom, especially England. England is getting fed up with the boats, all the boat people coming in. So many, like a million people have like immigrated into there, and now they're shutting down any protest of that. They're literally silencing the people so they can't even organize in their own country and protest. It's crazy what they're doing over there. Then they have the authority in the name of keeping children off of the dirty internet.
as it, I mean, it already has been in some places like China. And so I don't want to see that happen. And I wanted to make this video and spread awareness and let you guys know what's going on. I'm busy today. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I wanted to make a quick video and talk about this. Be vigilant, be proactive, and don't let these companies try to take all of your information. Again, information and some degree of verification is, I think, inevitable, but it certainly shouldn't be coming from these private companies because they are the easiest ones to hack. And if you don't believe me, look at Sony. So
Yeah, that's no kidding. That's no
anyway,
kidding.
guys, thank you all very much for watching. I really want to hear what everybody thinks in the comments. I think this is going to be an ongoing conversation for the next, unfortunately, 5 to 10 years. And it is a losing battle, but I would rather lose in a way to where we don't lose complete anonymity. And, at least unless the government orders it or a fucking judge orders it, right? And so anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I think. And that's where we're at. So anyway.
So where am I at? Like, does any does anyone use sign in with Facebook or sign in with Google? I don't use the sign in with Facebook stuff. That's kind of weird to me. Facebook is like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. Even when I used Facebook, and I'm on Facebook. I post stuff there. I post videos there. I'm not smacking on Facebook. It's just I wouldn't trust them with all my personal and private information. That being said, they have top-notch cybersecurity. So does Google. And I do use sign in with Google because I already have a lot of cloud storage through them. I already have all their Google stuff and it's easier. They say, yeah, they have password saver. They have all the stuff built right into their phones. It's thumbprint and face protected. So whenever I try to sign in to any website, basically, and it tries to use, it notifies my phone, and then I have to use my thumbprint, and it says, "Is this you?" And I say yes or no, and that's a good thing. And I think that's the way it should probably work out. So it's like sign in with Google, but it's not Google Authenticator. Maybe it is. Anyways, if you can use that, you should. It's a real handy service. I'm sure Apple has it too. Sign in with Apple ID, right? Sign in with your Apple ID. That's the same sort of thing. That's the way it needs to go across the internet. You're gonna pick one of these larger, super high end cybersecurity companies. You're gonna pick one of those guys, and they're gonna be the sign in with, like, of the three choices you've got. And I think the sooner the better. We got to get it going because I really don't want to send my personal credentials, put in my address and and my email and all this other shit into every stupid into Victoria's Secret, and then you're putting all your address stuff into whatever websites you buy, you, Amazon, and then all the other stuff. You go to these places, you got to log in and create a password, or I mean, checkout as guest is a thing, but they really want you to sign in. You know what I mean? And yeah. Anyways, I'm tired of that shit. The end user websites don't need all of that. All they need is some basic stuff, and then you can check out with your Google account or check out with your Apple account. You can sign in with your Apple account. You can all of that. And then they just say collect this information at shipping. You know what I mean? At the checkout. So what does what does the New York Times need my personal information for unless I'm subscribing to their, and I don't. I don't pay for the New York Times. But that's what he's trying to get at too. That's what he's trying to get at. Instead of signing into every Tom, Dick, and Harry website in the world out there, why not just use the browser or use the service, a third party service? I think that's a much better idea. If you agree, and you agree with Asmongold here, who you probably should. You should like, share, and subscribe his video. Go and watch his video. I'm very concerned on Asmongold TV. Like, share, and subscribe my video, and comment down below and let me know how you feel about this. I hope you have a beautiful day. See ya.